This is Kruti Jaivanchori, Assistant Professor in LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology in Department of Electronics and Communication. This video is about subject Microwave Engineering. So now, in the last video, we learned about what is the microwave measurement and which are the parameters that we need to measure. So we have seen the microwave test bench in the last video, and you know that using the microwave test bench we are able to measure the various microwave parameters. So now this is the microwave measurements. Power measurements, VSWR measurement, impedance measurement, frequency measurement, measurement of the cavity Q, the wavelength measurement. So these all are the parameters that we need to measure. So now, very first, our discussion is about the measurement of the power. So the power meter is used to measure the microwave power. So in that, the microwave sensors that are to be used to measure the power. So now, what is the power? The power is defined as the quantity of the energy dissipated or stored per unit time. So that's about the power. The power measurement that can be divided into the three parts. So the classification of the microwave power, one is the low power. So which power we are considered to be as a low power? It's a less than 10 millivolt. Medium power, that from the 10 millivolt to the 10 volt, considered to be as a medium power. And the high power measurement, using the calorimeters, people are measuring the high power. So high power that is greater than the 10 volt. So the general measurement technique for the average power is attach a properly calibrated sensor to the transmission line board at which the unknown power has to be measured, so that the power diode sensor, that power sensor is used. The sensors that are the diode detector or the Schottky barrier diode can be used as a power sensor. The bolometer, it's again the temperature sensitive device which can be used to measure the power. And the third thing, that is the thermocouple sensor. So these three particular sensors that can be used for measuring the low power, high power and the medium power. First of all, the diode detector. In that, the Schottky barrier diode that can be used. So now, the Schottky barrier diode or the low barrier Schottky diode technology that is to be used, okay, with the metal semiconductor junctions for the microwave frequency, and that are very rugged and consistent from the diode to diode. So a zero bias Schottky barrier diode that is used, and it is as a square law detector. So we know that the square law detector whose output power is proportional to the input power, and according to that the diode resistance, okay, that can be varied with the temperature. So this way it produces the microwave heat. So according to the change in the value of the resistance, we are able to vary the resistance value, and according to that the heat produced by them that can be varied. So average power is measured while the propagation in the transmission medium is P of average 1 upon nt integration 0 to nt dt it dt, where t is the time period of the lowest frequency, and here the number of cycles that are n considered. Now p of peak is what? So my total time, total pulse width, that is the tau. So it is the 1 upon tau 0 to tau Vt it dt. So what is your average power? The average power is P peak multiplied by the duty cycle. What is the duty cycle? Duty cycle is the pulse width multiplied by pulse repetition frequency. So now what is the pulse width? Suppose the tau is the pulse width. We are putting the tau value here. Tau multiplied by, suppose my pulse repetition frequency is Fr. So it's a tau multiplied by Fr, and Fr is what? It's 1 by t we can take. So it is the tau by t, and that tau by t, that's less than 1 value, where the tau is the pulse width, t is the period, and Fr is the pulse repetition frequency. So unit of the power at microwaves, that is dBm. So the power in dBm, when you want to calculate, it is the 10 log power in the millivolt, and the 1 millivolt that is taken as a reference. So while the 30 dBm is there, so the 30 dBm means the 1 volt, and minus 30 dBm, then it's a 1 microwatt. So this way the diode can be used. Here you can see that the Schottky barrier diode sensor. So we are applying the RF input, okay, and here the Schottky barrier diode sensor that is used. So now what happened? That according to the applied input, the resistance offered that can be changed. And what can we can change? That according to the change in the temperature value, the resistance value that can be changed, and the heat produced by the diode that can be also changed. So you can say that the resistance value that depends on to the temperature. So we can say that this all the power sensor diodes, okay. So what it will do? By varying the resistance value, okay, now it also depend on to the temperature, and according to that the heat produced by it that can be also changed. So now the next sensor, that is the bolometer sensor. The bolometer that can be also placed to produce the output. So that are the power sensors, and that operate by changing the resistance value due to the temperature. So the change in the temperature, okay, that is converting from the RF or the microwave energy into the heat within the bolometer element. So bolometer, that's a sensor. So while the microwave falls onto the bolometer, okay, so now what it will do? It will convert, okay, that into the some kind of the energy. So a barretter is a thin wire that has a positive temperature coefficient of the resistance. So the two things that can be used, either the thermistor that acts onto the negative temperature coefficient, or the barretter that is used, okay, so that can be used, okay, and thermistor, okay, that can be used with the microwave element. So thermistor elements are mounted in a coaxial or the waveguide structure, and they are compatible with a common transmission system at a microwave and the RF frequency. So here you can see in the diagram that what is there? The thermistor that is mounted, okay, and what happened that again it is put inside the some waveguide structure, so that the microwave, when it falls onto that, okay, what it will generate? It will produces the heat energy, and that heat energy that can be useful and we can measure the power. Okay, power meters that are constructed from the balance bridge circuit, and the principal part of the power meter that are the self balancing bridges, the meter logic section and the auto zero circuit. The RF bridge, which contains the detecting thermistor and is kept in balance by automatically varying the DC voltage V reference, which drives that bridge. So the compensating bridge, which contains the compensating thermistor, which is kept in the balance by automatically varying the DC voltage and which drives the bridge. So now the power meter is what? So power meter is basically constructed from a balanced bridge circuit. And what we can do? In that the bolometer circuitries that can be used. So now in this kind of the power meter, what can be changed? So while you are applying the microwave, the resistance that can be changed, and according to that the output produced by that circuitry that can be also changed. So the microwave power applied to this amp will change the bolometer's resistance, and due to that the unbalancing condition that would be arrived. So in the bridge form, the initial balance condition, that is under the zero incidence power, the non-zero output is recorded on a voltmeter and which can be calibrated to read the level of the input microwave power. So here you can see the diagram of using this. So the initial bridge portion, you can see that what happened here, the microwave sensors, okay, that can be used. Okay, so now under the zero biased station, okay, the bridge is in the balance condition. Okay, now what happened? We are applying the microwave power to the microwave sensor. Okay, so while you are applying this microwave power to the microwave sensors or the power sensors, okay, what happened? It will vary the resistance of your bridge circuit. So now that resistance that can be varied, and according to that whatever the voltage offered at that terminal that can be varied, and here the voltmeter that is to be connected, and you can read, you can measure the power value. So V1, V2 value, okay, that produces to this, it is given to the bridge amplifier and which is connected with the voltmeter, and we can read the power. The another diagram over here, that is again for the high power measurement, such kind of the devices that can be used. So here the diagram is very easy, and you can see that the two different bridges are given. Okay, two balance circuit that is used. Okay, so what happened? The one circuit that produces the output, that's V1, the other produces the V2. The comparison that can be done. Okay, and over here by using the DC voltmeter, the measurement of the power that can be done. So the power meter is initially zero set. By pushing the zero set button with no applied RF power, by making the VC is equal to VRF. Okay, so VRF 0, that is a V reference power with the 0 RF power. By after the 0 setting, if the ambient temperature variations change the thermistor resistance, and both the bridge circuit respond by applying the same low voltage to maintain the balance. Okay, so if the RF power is applied to detecting the thermistor, PRF decreases. So what is your PRF value? It's a VRF square upon the 4R. So it is a VRF square upon the 4R, where PRF is the RF power applied and R is the value of the thermistor resistance at the balance. But from the 0 setting, okay, this value, okay, that can be changed. Okay, so now it is the PRF square, it is the VC square minus VRF square upon 4R, okay, and which can be written as, okay, A square minus B square. You can write this formula, okay, that is for finding the power. This is the full diagram of the power meter. As you can see, the first diagram, first half, what is this? You have seen that is earlier, okay. So now what you have? You have the power value, okay. You can use the devices, okay, and you can measure the power, okay. And what happened over here? That here the voltage to temperature converter, the electronic switch is there, okay, and such kind of the power meter that is used, okay, in the regular practice for measuring the power, okay. So here you can see that what is that power value? So it's a V1 square upon the 4R from the one circuit and the V2 square upon the 4R from the other circuit, and we can develop the equation that is the V1 minus V2 upon V1 plus V2 upon 4R. So now for any change in the temperature, okay, therefore if the voltage changes, delta V, the change in the RF power is P average plus delta P. So now we can put the value over here, okay, and we can find out the P average plus delta P, okay. So this way we are able to measure the power. Next and the last, that is the thermocouple sensor. So what is the thermocouple? So thermocouple that have been the detection technology of the choice of sensing the RF and the microwave power since they are introduced in the year 1974. The main reasons for this evolution are, that is, they exhibit the higher sensitivity than the thermistor technology. The features that are the square law detection characteristics. So what is that? The output power is proportional to the input power. Okay, so thermocouples are the hit-based sensors and they are true averaging detectors. So these are the reason, that is why the thermocouple sensors that can be used. The thermocouples, they are based on the fact that the dissimilar metal generates a voltage due to the temperature differences at a hot and the cold junction of the metal. As we know and we have studied earlier about the thermocouple, the two junctions are that the hot junction and the cold junction. Okay, so the power sensor that contains the two identical thermocouple on a one chip and they are connected electrically. So here you can see the diagram in which the thermocouple power sensor is connected. Over here the N type of the silicon, here again the N type of the silicon. The two junction, hot junction and the cold junction, and the RF input that is applied to this, and the output we observe, okay, that is connected with the voltmeter. Okay, so the principal advantage of thermocouple, that is there is no need for RF chop in the upper reed, okay, and another is the square law modulator and we can measure the output clearly. So this way the thermocouple, bolometer, then the Schottky barrier diode, these all the diodes that can be used to measure the power. So it is about the power measurement. This way we can measure the low power, medium power and the high power using the microwave powered sensor. So thank you very much everyone.